Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy, and I wanted to show you just a few detail things about this 2020 Toyota Sequoia that I will have a review up on the site about shortly. It is one of the oldest, newest SUVs you can get. Toyota hasn't really changed this much since 2008, and trust me when I tell you that that's a good thing. As I survey the interior of the Sequoia, you will note the absence of ass. And I don't mean the kind you grab, I mean the kind that shuts the engine off at every red light and whenever traffic stops. Almost all the new vehicles, the new and improved vehicles, have ass, and it's ultra annoying because in most cases you have to manually push the button every single time you drive in order to shut the ass off. Well, Toyota doesn't have ass. Something else it does have is a meatier feel to it. You got this nice, big, that's a handful of gear shifter here, whereas in models like the Tahoe, there's a stalk up here that you use to change gears, which frankly to me is kind of feminine. No offense to the ladies, but it is. It's not really something that I associate with a rugged feeling manly 4x4 vehicle. The Ford Expedition has a knob, and again, I think it's because new and improved means make it appeal more to suburbanites and other people who buy big SUVs not because they like the big rugged manly feel of it so much. They just want a big vehicle that can handle a lot of kids and a lot of groceries, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but the Sequoia's just got a more rugged kind of a demeanor to it, which a lot of people apparently like. If they didn't like it, Toyota would have updated this thing years ago rather than continuing to sell it in the same form it continues to sell. There's a reason for that. You might want to take that into account. Some other nice things too. They're small things, but they're important things, I think. Note that the seat heater adjustments here, it's a wheel. I really prefer these wheel adjusters to the kind that you have to tap. And the reason for that is the tap type usually give you 1 to 3 options. The first being on off, the second being high or low, and the third being high, medium, or low. Whereas with this, you can fine-tune the amount of heat that you get in a way that you just can't do with the button that only goes however it's programmed to go. Also note, you've got these really nice big grab handle type controls for important functions like the fan speed and the HVAC, which I like. A lot of people don't like the fact, or at least I should say the car press doesn't seem to like the fact that Toyota hasn't put a ginormous LCD touchscreen in the Sequoia. I love that they haven't. They have updated the apps if you're into that, but the fact is you don't really need to deal with this touchscreen too much in order to enjoy this big bus. And if you need to do things like change the radio station volume or change the station that you're listening to, you've got those manual controls there, and there are also secondary redundant controls on the steering wheel. But I'll tell you what, as a guy who reviews new vehicles, it is a heck of a lot simpler to change the radio station simply by turning a knob than it is by scrolling and tapping a menu. It may look cool on the showroom floor and all of that, but out in the real world, it does not work so very well. All right, moving along here, other modern touches. You get 3 USB power points and a 12-volt power point. A lot of new vehicles have eliminated the 12-volt power point. And I assume because a lot of apps just use these USB-type hookups for power. However, some people still need a 12-volt power pickup to run things like a radar detector, which I don't leave home without, just like I don't leave home ever wearing a diaper. Other cool little touches. Note the little storage pocket that is built into the side console or side door panel here that gives you a secure place to put stuff. Speaking of secure places to put things, looky here on the center console, where first you've got basically 3 cup holders rather than the usual 2, and then you've got this cover comes off and you get this deep storage pocket right here, which is an ideal place to store a gun, for example, or your wallet, or any other thing that you want to keep out of sight of the prying masses. Anyway, I'm a big fan of this vehicle. It's a great SUV. It's a real SUV. Comes standard with a real V8, a big V8, not a little V8. not a V6 with turbos, no direct injection. God bless Toyota for continuing to build this, and hopefully they'll continue to build it for as long as people still want to buy it. I'd certainly be considering buying this thing if I were in the market for a big SUV. And I'll have more up at epautos.com, the web's best libertarian gearhead site, where you can read more about it. And thanks as always for listening to the rants and viewing the columns and supporting the site, and we'll catch up with you again soon.